It is a Monday edition here talking about the arena, and I say welcome to another edition of the show. What a great sporting weekend we had, where in the world of football it was Manchester City still retaining the lead in the Premier League, and in the world of basketball at the wee hours of today, all teams or all franchises are finished playing the regular season, and the big boys are now into the postseason. Well, the small boys like Los Angeles Lakers are, having to rebuild their roster for next season. It's on that note I say welcome once again. I'm Thompson, and there's so much on the show today, from football to basketball to golf, where we have a new winner talking about the Masters, not forgetting the world of Formula One as well, where it's all about the Ferrari team. And I'm not going to talk about this alone. I've got Victor Abraham with me, who joins me on the show today. Good morning. Oh, good afternoon, I beg your pardon.
Yes, it's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's start from basketball. The Lakers. We need to start from the Lakers before we move to, the postseason bets, really. Yeah. The Lakers wrapped up the season 146, 141 points win over the Nuggets overtime. It seemed impressive on paper because, it's the Nuggets who are into the playoffs. But what do you make of the season they've had as a whole, not just the game we saw this morning?
Well, the season was predictable even before the season started with putting up the
roster.
One is not surprised, although the question you want to ask LeBron right now is, so who is laughing right now? Who has the energy?
Last laugh?
Because, this was predicted. That roster looks old. Right, and they were injury prone, so there was no way they were going to go through the season and make a strong statement, to win the chip, with that kind of roster.
But one would have expected them to at least make the playoffs. Sorry, I had to butt in there.
Yes, one would have. So it's just the story of the season, So it just shows you how bad that roster played out. Russell Westbrook was a shadow of himself.
Yes.
You had AD not having the best of seasons. Though we've always known that AD is not going to be 100%
healthy as well.
So Carmelo Anthony also
an old guard.
Yeah, old guard here and there. He had his
flashes.
Nights,
yes.
But again, that's inconsistency. They were off in defense, so many things went off for them, and that's why they are not even in the play-in season. And remember that other teams also are not sitting down and waiting for you to just come and take your place there. Everybody wants to participate, and I guess that is what happened to the Lakers.
Let's look at it. For the terrible season the Lakers had, the only player that stood out had to be their talisman, Lebron James, posting records, the youngest to make 30 points, an average per game in a season, the same thing being the oldest. What do you make of his phenomenal performance, throughout the regular season, even at year 19?
Okay, so one of the things you know about LeBron is that LeBron would never cheat the game, and he had an amazing season. If not for his health, LeBron would have won the
scoring title,
putting on massive numbers night in, night out, So, it was a good one, but again, with him being at the center of putting together that roster also, that is just everything. That's the story right now that everybody will be saying, because LeBron set up that team to actually fail. Really, it was bad from the very beginning. It doesn't matter how good his personal season was, but the failure of this team is failure of LeBron. So yes, that is the story of LeBron's season, really, for me.
Okay, before we move on to the Warriors, let's talk about, the Lakers. It's obvious there's an overhauling that will take place, during the break. Do you think, what are you looking at for the kind of players they should bring in and those who will probably be shipped out?
Okay, first of all, I think from the coaching crew, at some point, Frank Vogel looks like he didn't have an answer. And Frank Vogel is one coach that has been known for his ability to put up the defense, right? And that is one area where the Lakers failed the most. They looked like they were too tired, they were too old, and they didn't even have it in them to defend.
To defend.
So definitely Frank Vogel is going to leave. He's going to be fired. He won't leave. Yes, he's going to be fired. Then definitely Westbrook trade. They want to get Westbrook away as quickly as possible. And one cannot take away an AD. Trading AD, because he gave only 40% this season. Yes, he was there, but he also wasn't consistent.
Consistent.
You know, so again, a player like
Melo,
Melo is
Malik Monk.
definitely leaving.
Monk should stay?
Well, Monk is the kind of player that you can build a roster with. So yes, and he had an amazing season too. So, but I think
Austin Reeves.
They are top three right now. The top five. There needs to be an overhaul. LeBron was giving a hint. You know, he wants to play with Steph Curry. But again, you know, definitely LeBron is not somebody you want to take, because judging from the kind of season that he had. But you know, the pieces around LeBron, there needs to be an overhaul of those pieces if they are going to have a chance next season.
Okay, let's move away from the Lakers and talk about, still within the Western Conference, talk about Golden State Warriors that tied third place in the sport when it comes to the rankings itself, or standings as it were, and that was courtesy of a victory just at the wee hours of this point. It was Klay Thompson who exploded for 41 points, and this is quite impressive. Yes, it may be the Pelicans, but it's good to see Thompson get back to his rhythm after, you know, over 2 years out in action. 41 points, quite a statement going into the postseason.
Yes, you could see that Klay Thompson has been struggling even when he came in, and there were nights,
that's quite understandable.
Yes, and there were nights that his decision and indecision cost the Warriors, you know, the game. You know, but it's good also to see him go for a 41 points, you know, because the Warriors need everything right now, you know. So for someone like him, you know, getting into the rhythm at, you know, the stage of the season, you know, you need somebody like him to be on fire. You need somebody like him to have his legs, his rhythm, his motivation. You need all those. So right now is a good one going into the playoffs, you know. So it's really even going to make it easy for a Curry when he comes back. You know, so but again, it's really good. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that apart from the Warriors, I'm happy for my Warriors, but I'm also happy for him that he's actually finding his rhythm, you know, and putting in 41 points. Amazing.
You talked about Curry. No one knows when he's returning. There's still no specific date. It's doubtful for game 1 or game 2. And they're playing the Denver Nuggets when it comes to the, you know, postseason round 1 this Saturday. I understand that it's more of a day-to-day assessment for Steph Curry at this time. He missed the last 12 final games of the regular season. How much of a big loss will it be to the Warriors if he misses game 1 and possibly game 2?
Well, the Nuggets are going to feast on the Warriors, right? Because Jokic is going to literally dominate the paint.
The paint, yes.
You know, and that is going to be a problem because the Warriors,
even with Draymond Green, they don't have the body.
They don't have the body.
Iguodala is battling with health.
You know, they don't have those big men that are needed to defend. You know, so Jokic is going to have. I won't be surprised if Jokic go for a 35, 40, you know, per game. You know, so you need an assassin like Steph Curry that can shoot in those
from the field,
from any part of the court, you know. So it's going to be a big one for them. Then you want to also see their character, because really how they do without Steph Curry in game 1, game 2 is going to determine, you know, how far they go into the playoff season. So, yeah, it's a good test. It's a good test for them. But again, if they are able to see through the Nuggets, then the Warriors are a team that you want to reckon with. Yes, because for now they are not really that team.
Okay. Still staying with, you know, now let's move to the Eastern Conference. We're still staying with basketball. It's all about the scoring title and the praises that are coming in their torrents for Philadelphia 76ers big man, or the center as it were, Joel Embiid, the first international to win the scoring title, first center since Shaquille O'Neal did in 1999-2000 season to win the scoring title. And this is coming as a result of his heroics this season. 30.6 points per game he averaged. LeBron, we said, finished second, 30.3 points. And, you know, we said, okay, probably if he was healthy, he could have made a run for it. But you can't take anything away from what Embiid did for the 76ers, even without Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Amazing start to the season, you know. And again, really, one of the things that determine how far you go in the season is how you started, you know. And Joel Embiid, from the first game, he has been amazing, you know. And so he had an amazing season holding the 76ers even before James Harden,
Yeah,
came in.
came in on board.
So that is a good one. I'm happy for him as an individual player. So it's good for his motivation too, and also for the team.
Do you think you can carry the 76ers all the way, at least to the Eastern Conference Final?
No. They are not that team. Yes, they are a team to be reckoned with, but they don't have two pieces right now, because you don't know what you can get from a James Harden right now. It's really a problem.
They're even pondering max contract.
So that is where the problem lies right now. So for a James Harden, you don't know the rhythm that he's going to be in. You don't know what he's going to be shooting. You don't know if he's also going to be healthy again, because he has that hamstring
issue,
history. So that is where. So the 76ers right now, yes, amazing individual season for Joel Embiid, but they are not that team that can win it.
Okay, talking about James Harden is having his worst season since his rookie days when it comes to shooting from the three-point range. It just shows you the struggles that he's having right about now in terms of settling in well at the 76ers. Let's move away from there. Still talking basketball, let's delve a bit into business. And it's all about the Lakers and how they're trying to build the roster. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers and Houston Rockets may revisit a trade this summer involving two aging point guards in the final years of their Supermax contracts. The Lakers are looking for ways to improve the roster after a failed experiment with Westbrook. He is owed $47.1 million next season, which is the fourth highest by annual salary in the NBA. But the trade wouldn't shed much salary for either team. Wall is owed $47.4 million next year, which is the second highest by annual salary. The Rockets, however, might be able to construct a buyout since they only have $3 million on the payroll in 2023. Now, does this even bode well for both franchises? In talking about the Lakers and Houston Rockets, you have John Wall, who hasn't played since about 2018 or so due to injuries. Westbrook having probably the worst season of his career. So how does this, work for both franchises, considering the players are earning a lot?
Okay, so because that's one of the things that was considered, even in the whole Westbrook trade, So, but if the Lakers management, because right now they just need to get Westbrook
off.
It's not a very good place to be.
That's right, with his salary,
especially with his salary. 47 million. So they would want to get something that might work, or something that they might build with. One will also want to see how they spend. During the close of the season. So yes, I don't think that is wise. I think they should still chill a bit, let the season be over and let the management come together and decide what they want to do going forward. But I think for now, it's not a good one for them, even for the player that they're trying to trade for.
Not John Wall.
It's not a good one for them. One would think that they want to even look back at it. DeMarozan and players
other
that can,
players,
Dem Lillard.
Yes,
these are players that can actually come into that Lakers team and have an immediate impact. So I would advise that they want to just chill a bit and do what is best for the team long term.